church. Wake up early, eat some breakfast, drive, go to church. Be there on time. You, Sunday, church.
The Sabbath day is the seventh day. It's always been the seventh day, and it remains the seventh day since creation. It begins when a day begins, at dawn, on Saturday. Not according to Jewish Babylonian tradition, in darkness from evening to evening, and not according to Roman heresy on sun god day, but it is the seventh day. It was reminded of at Horeb, because it had existed from the beginning. Horeb, where the life-giving waters came out of the rock at Horeb, and then in Exodus 19, when the children of Israel agreed orally to keep the Ten Commandments before the golden calf incident. So the seventh-day Sabbath predates the golden calf incident, which initiated the adding of sacrificial law to the Holy Covenant. Why is that important? Because when we see in John 19:30 that it is finished, don't think that the Sabbath rest was finished. It's part of the Holy Covenant, the Ten Commandments. Don't think that the Ten Commandments have been abolished. That's ridiculous. Check Galatians 3:19, Colossians 2:14, Ephesians 2:15 with Deuteronomy 31:24 through 26, and you'll begin to learn what was finished when Messiah bowed his head and said, "It is finished." He didn't finish the covenants of promise that Paul writes about in Ephesians 2:12, or that which the Jerusalem council upheld in Acts 15. No. Deuteronomy chapter 18 says that a prophet like unto me, like unto Moses, would raise up, and he would teach of our brethren. He would raise up from our brethren. He would teach the Ten Commandments. That's what Yeshua the Messiah did. His name is Joshua in English. He refreshed the Holy Covenant, just as Peter tells us in Acts chapter 3, 19 through 26, quoting from Deuteronomy 18, and also quoting from Deuteronomy 4, where it says that in the latter days, Jehovah our Father will not forget us, even when we are in tribulation, if we remember the covenant that he gave to our fathers. That would be Noah, that would be Abraham, that would be Isaac and Jacob and the 12 patriarchs and Joseph. That would be Moses and David, all the prophets from Samuel to Malachi, including John Baptist, Yeshua Messiah, and the holy prophets and the holy apostles. They all taught the kingdom gospel to keep the Ten Commandments, which includes the weekly Sabbath. Isaiah, the prophet Isaiah in Isaiah chapter 28, verse 12, goes on to predict that this end days generation would reject the refreshing of the Holy Covenant. They would refuse to enter into the weekly Sabbath rest. He says also in Isaiah 42 that nobody will say restore, meaning that nobody would receive the magnification of the law, which is exactly what Joshua, in English, the Messiah, taught in Matthew 22, verses 36 to 40. He's quoting from Deuteronomy 5 and 6, meaning that to love God with all your heart, soul, and strength is to keep the Ten Commandments, and to love our neighbor as ourself is like unto it, quoting from Leviticus 19, 15 through 18. But nobody pays attention to this, and the apostate church in Babylon is leading many people astray, because they're not teaching people to love God, which is to keep the Ten Commandments, including the seventh-day Sabbath, and they're not teaching people what loving our neighbor really means, which means to teach them the covenants of old, to rebuke sin out of the churches, and to, fulfill the royal law, which basically is to correct people when they are in sin. And so we must keep the Ten Commandments, we must eat clean and fulfill the royal law. These are the basic instructions that were given to the Gentile converts in Acts 15 when James emerged from the Jerusalem council with the basic instructions for us Gentile converts. Go to straightasthegate.net. Enter ye in at straightasthegate.net. For broad is the way that leads to destruction, and narrow is the way which lead to life, and few be there that find it.